Welcome to Storage for Dummies, Storage 101. This module is designed to basically teach you the very basics of the different types of storage environments, and which will allow you when you're on the phone to identify where a company is in terms of their storage, and we can position our solutions on behalf of our partners. So, storage, what is it? Data storage. It all starts on the servers, okay? So, I'm just going to show you right here a basic, simple example of a company that runs 5 servers, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? And servers run applications. That's where the data comes from. So, if we have 5 servers, one is our web server, www. One is our CRM server, right? One is our ERP server, right? One is our file server, okay? And one of them is, let's say, backup to the CRM or the production or the test CRM, okay? Very simple companies literally save their data on their servers. All a server is a computer, right? You have a personal computer, it runs an operating system, and it runs multiple applications, and it has storage built into it. Disk space, right? Or a hard drive. A server is the same thing, except a server, it has disk space. It runs an operating system, but it runs one application. That's the difference between a server and a personal computer. So these servers themselves have data built into them. Okay, let's say on average 300 gigabytes. Right, so this has got 300 gigs. This has got 300 gigs. This has got 300, 300, and 300. Okay, I have 5 servers with 300 gigabytes of data available on them. So I have 1,000 gigabytes in a terabyte. I have 1.5 terabytes of data that I can save on these servers. I'm a small company. I have no need for networked storage. So I'm running all of my data on my servers. As it continues to run, it's going to slow them down. Okay? In the Storage for Dummies world, we call this a direct attached storage environment, and it earns a frowny face. If you identify this type of storage environment when you're on the phone with someone, you say, wow, you're still on direct attached storage? Oh wow, you mean to tell me you save all of your data on your servers themselves? Wow, okay, that's bad. It's irresponsible. It's not good business practices, okay? Just like you can at home, you can add a larger hard drive or additional hard drives. So let's say this guy is running this direct attached storage environment, and he decides to add 100 gig drives. 100, 100, 100, 100. So that's 500 more gigabytes on my already 1.5 terabyte environment. Now we've upped our storage environment to 2 terabytes. That's a significant amount of data, and like I said, it's irresponsible. So if you're in this environment, the next step that you're going to take is you're going to network your storage, which is going to free up space from the servers. It's going to allow them to run more efficiently, and more importantly, it's going to give you allow you to view your data on a single pane of glass. It's going to allow you to network your storage, and we're going to do that with a device, with a hardware device. Okay, we're going to lump this all together, this data, this data, this data, and we're going to buy a box very similar to an external hard drive that you would buy for your computer. And that device is called a NAS. That stands for its Network Attached Storage. We have now networked our storage. It's freeing up space on the servers. You're having a single pane of glass. There's one device to hold your data. All a NAS is a piece of hardware that holds your data. On average, let's say they're about 3 terabytes. Okay? So I've dumped all this data into here. If you're thinking about a company as an example, it's growing, it's growing, it's growing. This NAS is going to get filled up. Because effectively what it's doing is it's saving every single file. Every single email, every single file that's saved on the iDrive, every single transaction that goes on this company is going to be captured in the NAS. So what do? I buy another NAS. It's just a piece of hardware, and all it is saving all of my data. So now that's going to fill up, okay? And once again, it's not the most optimal form of storage. So in the Storage for Dummies world, this earns a very unsatisfied, that's actually too happy. More like, like that. It's okay. You have network storage, but there's no cohesive way to manage it. It's just there. It's on an external hard drive that we will call a network attached storage device. Alright? Some of our partners do sell this device, but it's not the most optimal form of data storage. That's what we're going to move to right now. After these continue to fill up, and you're going to continue to buy these NAS devices, someone is going to make the investment and say, listen, our company is growing, we need to actively manage this data, we need to buy a SAN, okay? And this is what our partners sell. Storage area networks, the big boys, the big boxes, okay? It's a SAN. The difference between a NAS and a SAN, S-A-N, is the fact that a SAN is the perfect marriage of hardware and software. It brings them together to intelligently manage your storage network. It doesn't save every file. It doesn't have to. It intelligently organizes your storage. It only saves the critical files and the stuff that you're going to need. And we're going to get into how it does that in a minute. A SAN. In the Storage for Dummies world, the SAN earns a smiley face. Okay, why does it do that? Because, like I said, it's the perfect marriage of software and hardware. Some of the examples of the software layers that are built into the SAN are deduplication, right? Very important. This is how we get rid of the garbage. A good SAN offers thin provisioning. Alright, we'll get into what that means. Another good aspect of a SAN is how it allows for tiered storage. Okay? These solutions are offered on the IBM V7000 Unified. They're offered on the IBM XIV. They're offered on the EMC VNX. They're offered on the NetApp SANs. Every good SAN that's been made past 2011 offers these software layers. So if you're dealing with older versions of SANs, you have to ask if they do these functions. And let's get into this. So, I'm a sales manager. I send an email to the sales managers. Jim Reagan is my boss. He replies. Forwards it to somebody else. They reply to the floor, sends it to HR. HR agrees, and then someone finally signs off on it. Think of these files as A1, A2, A3, A4, 5, 6, and 7, right? Each file contains everything from the previous file plus a little bit. This has everything that that had. This has everything that that had. All the way down to 7, right? To the point where A7 has every single one of these things. So A1 through 6 is just a waste of space. We already have that data here saved in A7. Same thing with C, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, B, 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 B. You've got all these files filling up your SAN, right? But they're duplicates of each other because each one at the end saves all of the different data previously. So what deduplication says is, why the heck do I need A1 through 6? Let's just delete it. And a lot of the older devices don't do that. Why do I need all this stuff? Let's just get rid of it. And you're stuck with these 3 files, 3 simple files. That's intelligent storage. It's deduplication. It's the wave of the future. Get on board or get lost. Right? That's deduplication. Thin provisioning. Most modern SANs do this. Older SAN devices don't do that. Think about an older SAN. It has 10 terabytes of data that you're allowed to save. Previously, you would have to do what's called partition these walls, right? And I would have to allot 2 terabytes for my file server, 2 terabytes for the web server, 2 terabytes for CRM, 2 terabytes for ERP. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 2. Okay? And then when we wanted to start using the SAN, we would lock it into place, and there's your walls. Okay? But let's just say on my file server I'm running only a little bit. On my web server I'm running only a little bit, a few hundred gigabytes, 200 or 300 gigabytes. But my CRM server partition is getting filled up. My ERP is filled up. Same thing with my other CRM. I've utilized all of that data. I've only used 8.5 terabytes of my 10 terabyte SAN. But because it's been hard partitioned, I can't borrow from these areas. Even though you have the space, you cannot use it previously. So what would you have to do? You'd have to add expensive drivers, add a NAS, or make some other type of investment in your storage environment when you already have it in place. There's no point. So what a lot of companies are doing now is offering thin provisioning. And you can basically think of your SAN as I thought of this whiteboard. I can erase it. Think of it as like dotted lines. They can move. Oh, I need more space here. I only need a little space for my iDrive. And then if I need more, I can re-provision it and make more space. Okay, so you can provision on the fly. That's thin provisioning. It's a very powerful piece of software built into most of our modern SAN devices. Another aspect that SANs do is called tiered storage. And if you think about it, it's like the 80-20 rule. It's a very intelligent way of managing your storage. Flash memory is kind of going the way of the dodo, but it's still being utilized today in these tiered storage environments. Think of it this way: 20%, 80%. In a SAN, in a tiered storage environment, 80% of the data, you really don't use that much. So it's saved to the hard disk space. Okay? 20% of your data is used regularly. So it's saved to the flash space. If anyone's ever double-clicked on an Excel file, a big one, and it's taken some time to open up and then it opens, that's because literally a physical arm has to go out and read a disk and say, this is a Microsoft Excel file, there's a boatload of data on it, okay, here it is. Even if it takes 10 seconds, that's a significant amount of time. But if you've ever played an iPod or something on your iPad, you hit play on a song and it opens instantly. That's flash memory. It's digital and it's instant. So with tiered storage, it intelligently stores your data. The top 20% that they use is saved on flash. The bottom 80% that you don't use is saved to disk. So it's intelligently tiering your storage to optimize your storage environment. Combined with deduplication, thin provisioning, the SAN is the ultimate device to manage your storage environment.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
Yeah.